To Archangel, Revelations and Prophecies 444. A user has requested birth natal chart analysis of her family, and this is what we've been doing. We will now continue with that. Now, we immediately start with the first house. His sun sign is Leo. Ascendant and rising sign is Leo. First house is Leo. All right. So his first house will be a lot like his fifth house. And because he has that Sagittarius Leo connection, he will be somewhat psychic, but not just very creative, very psychic. He's got a lot of clairs, ESP, extrasensory perceptive gifts. Now, she's already received a free report, but every new natal chart does have a free report. Fully explains astrology, the 12 houses, all the signs, connects with the Archangel cards, talks about the tarot cards, talks about the chakras. All right, so then number 3 degrees is the Empress card, which has Venus energy. So he's going to be connected to his third house as well, which is also Gemini energy, because this is number 3. So like I said, there's going to be like a very psychic, very creative person. And so far, it doesn't look like he would have any problems communicating. So Leo, very, very in his case, outspoken, creative, Leo can be bold, very loyal. They look out for their family, their friends, anybody that they care about. In some cases, Leo will just look out for. In some cases, each Leo is different, but sometimes they just look out for. They have a strong principle, what they believe to be right. They look out for it. Like to have fun. Anything that's fun. A lot of times that could be sports, athletic, but really anything that's fun. Childlike, anything with children. And of course, those traits can attract people to them. Could be romantic. those threes, what happens with a Leo, they can dive into a situation regarding those areas, romance, love, because you see Venus right there, and see the Empress is Venus energy. But what happens is it's not so much Leo as a player, but Leo, if he feels like he's giving you his all, and most people cannot be as loyal as Leo is. So sometimes Leo can be very upset about that. And unfortunately, that's how hearts get broken until he learns. Like once he learns, he'll understand it. But in the early stages, he doesn't understand it. So he'll jump into a situation. When he jumps in, it is with his whole heart and things like that. But once he sees a little bit of disloyalty or something like that, he'll fall back. So the female or the person he's showing interest to may feel like he's a player, or that he played her, or he'll be real confused, because especially with that number 3, because he's going to jump in and jump out. But the reason why he's jumping out is because he needs to feel like a intense loyal connection. And unfortunately, like a Leo could be overwhelming, and unfortunately he'll make a female feel a certain way, because she's trying to figure him out and she won't be able to, because he really has like extreme loyalty. And I've had a lot of females tell me this, and they say, I'll date anybody but a Leo. And I said, why? This woman said, I dated every other zodiac sign, and I would tell them I'm going here, I'm going to do this and stuff like that. She said Leo was the only one that told me, no, you're not going to do that. If you're in a relationship, you're not going to do that. And I had a few females say that. So when you're dealing with like a ideal Leo, they have an intense no, K-N-O-W, an intense knowledge of what's right, what's wrong. And that's really a good quality to have, but unfortunately, in third dimension, it's not gonna go too well. Because in third dimension, you have people that wanna they always want that independence. And Leo knows that well, wait a minute, how we're supposed to have a exclusive relationship here. Because you see Libra in his third house. We have this exclusive relationship here, and what you're doing is going to be threatening that. So he's going to tell her like it is, because it is. It is. There's no way in the world. Like a lot of people play games, but there's no way in the world. That's like me being on the Lakers team, but I like to walk around with the Raptors jerseys on, or other people's jerseys on. Like you work at fast food restaurant A, but you're always fraternizing over at the competition. You know, so Leo say no, you ain't doing that, because that's inconducive to this relationship, and also boom, boom, boom. So that's how a female gets thrown off by that. Or sometimes what a Leo will do, he'll tell her this is the way it's going to be because this is the best, but it's kind of like forced, because because a female may go along with it, but she doesn't really feel that way, but she's just going along with it because she doesn't want to lose him. And then when he's not around, how she really feels comes out. So that's how he walks in, and maybe she's sitting too close to a guy, maybe being a little too sociable, or he just gets a phone call or somebody say, "Hey, your girl, she is all next to so and so," laughing and giggling, looking all in his eyes. And Leo ain't trying to hear that, because Leo will fuck somebody up. Leo will kill, will commit murder, and won't think twice about it. Now, what y'all gotta understand now, that's a bad thing. But years ago, that's how it was. Because I know my father used to tell me stuff. Like, 1950s or so, maybe 1960s, maybe a little bit of 1970s or so. But if you were with somebody, you were with somebody. Like dating was considered you were gonna get married. So somebody you were dating had a right to tell you don't do this and don't do that. Like how Beyonce said put a ring on it. Back in the old days, dating was like that. Like it was like it was like you had a ring. Even if a ring wasn't on the finger, it was on it. Now again, I'm not saying what's right or wrong because like I'm the type of guy. The past is dead. To keep you can't relive it. That just be foolish. It is what it is. See, I'm more smarter now. I know how to just not get involved with certain shit because I know I am a Leo and I got the threes just like he does. So I just don't get involved because it saves everybody a lot of anguish. So then what I have is people trying to push them because you know how when somebody thinks they can't get you, then that makes you more attractive. So then you have people trying to push themselves on me. So you have to watch out for all that. So that's the case going on with him. Most definitely, you see the Libra right there and all these other things. And you notice his Mars is at 16 degrees, also 13 minutes. So he will terminate 13 degrees, or no, well 13, not 30, because that's a minute. That's not a degree. 16 degrees, 13 minutes, but 13 is a death card. That's termination. So like I said, I might be able to break up, get back together. And some people, especially when they're young, because I know with me, when it was over, it was over. Because I figured if it didn't work the first time, why am I wasting my time the second time? But now that I'm old, I do things a lot differently. But that's how it was. So that 13 is exactly what that is. It's in love. But once he feels betrayed or hurt, because the perfect example of me, like I did everything for my girlfriend at that age. I did everything for my girlfriend. I was working, so I always had money. Plus, I was selling clothes, selling stuff at the auction, and cutting grass. I always had money, so I was buying clothes for her family, her brother. Because that's how Leos are. And it wasn't nothing I wouldn't do for her. But we were at a dance one night. We were dancing, but just a female, which is really it's really nothing wrong with it, kind of. So she wanted to dance, be all out, dance, meeting people, dancing with people and stuff. And my car broke down outside. So my car broke down. So I was telling her like, yeah, the car broke down and stuff like that. So she basically said to me, okay, well, since your car broke down, you can go handle that, and I'll just stay in here and keep dancing and stuff. And I just thought that was fucked up. I was like, oh, my car's broke down, and you're gonna still stay in here partying and shit. You're not gonna be out there with me. So I thought that was real fucked up at that age and shit. so So that's how Leos don't play like that. Leos are like they're real loyal, but they expect the same loyalty, and most people are not going to be able to give them the loyalty they expect. So as a Leo, I would suggest instead of taking yourself through that hell, just accept it. Know that that's a reality, and once you know that's a reality, you don't have to be so giving because you're not going to get that. You're not going to experience that. And if you do that, believe me, that's a blessing that you get that. So the ascendant is where the sun was going over the horizon when he was born. The east point is the sun going over the left ecliptic when he was born. But the EP, the east point, is like the ego of the sun. So he's going to be a lot of Leo. A lot of Leo. Sun Leo, ascendant Leo, east point Leo. He's going to be a lot of Leo. And the threes means, like I said, uh, kind of immature with it, youthful. But like I said, three is also Gemini. Um, so he gonna communicate about his feelings, about his love, and all that stuff. His creativity. He probably won't have any problem talking about anything. But that's it. 16 is he will try to lay the law down in love because he's telling, well, if for love to work, we got to do it this way. But unfortunately, that ain't gonna, a female will agree to it, but that's not, she's not really, that's not how she really feels. She'll agree to it with her mouth, but her heart don't feel that way. And I'll tell anybody listening, that's the quickest way to have your girlfriend or somebody cheat on you. Because you can't say love is this way, so in order for this to work, it's got to be that way. And unfortunately, this is the universe, but that's what I try to say about Mayat. See, Libra is Mayat. And what I learned about Mayat, a lot of people think Mayat is male and female and working together and they're learning how to compromise and make it through. That's not Mayat. Mayat is you will have to learn that females are not men. So she's going to have to learn shit about you that she might not particularly like. And you're going to have to learn stuff about her that you may not like. Like if you knew the full story, you would probably be pissed off. And is the Leo right? Is it dangerous? Some of that is dangerous. Cause like I said, that scenario I gave earlier, you might not be at this particular social event. She is, and she's fraternizing and doing what females do, whatever, because they love attention and vanity or whatever, with a little flirtation or whatever. You may not know about that or whatever. It might even go a little bit more deeper than that. And if you knew, you would be furious. So you may never know, but when she sees you, it's all hugs and kisses. She loves you. She loves you, and she might give you some great sex though. But she's giving you great sex based on what took place at that event you weren't at. And you may never figure it out, or you may figure it out. So that's reality. That's reality. And it may only be through working this out with her, arguments with her. Cause like that war I just had, with my neighbors, it taught them a little respect. Like they're right now they've been put in place. Now that doesn't mean they're gonna stay there. But what I'm saying, it took all that. It took them harassing me for 7 years, me not responding because of who they were, then me finally getting angry and saying, I'm not going to back down no more. Boom, boom, boom. And then they turned it up, which made everything worse than it already was. And then me becoming even more angry. How dare you lie and blah, blah, blah. How dare you? And I becoming more angry. And now I'm definitely not going to back down. And it really got intense. It almost got like the Cold War when John F. Kennedy had to tell Russia, you better get those missiles down from Cuba and stop pointing them at the U.S. You got a certain amount of time, and if you don't take those missiles down, expect to go to war. So that's how this got. It got that way, and then I sent them a letter, basically, whatever, let them know, boom, boom, boom. I was real respectful because I never wanted this. I don't got no problem with them people. They was harassing me. And then because of the letter or whatever, that they finally backed the freak down, and backed up and just stopped all that crazy stuff they was on. So that's how it is. That's a real relationship. Nothing like what Leo wants. Leo wants to love. You see the first house. That's a loving, beautiful first house. The Venus, the Sun, the Ascendant. Oh, Leo's all happy. That's what he wants. He wants to be the happy lion. But metaphysically and through creation, you got two polarities. Positive, negative, yin and yang. And you have to be able to work through all this crazy stuff. And that's what I try to tell people from experience. Because you say, okay, I get it. I just got to learn to be more patient and maybe talk. But that might not work. See, as long as you're on this journey and this life is the way it is, That's what I tried to say. Just like I had to make a phone call yesterday morning. I didn't want to make the phone call, especially to this particular place, but I had to. It's health reasons. It's a whole lot of reasons. Just like when I cut the hedges by myself. I mean, that was a big job, and I got all this other stuff to do by myself. But unfortunately, the moment other people are involved, now you're double working and all this crazy stuff, which is killing you, killing your health and everything. So when I woke up, I had to make a decision. Listen, I got to stay off this foot. This thing has been swelled up. What happened with that, my doctor, he was trying to help me, but he gave me some medication. You know, instead of giving me insulin, he was giving me pills. So I wasn't really getting insulin. Them pills was garbage. And then he was giving me some other insulin. So along with all that stuff, it just messed me up totally. So now I got to make the best decision based on that. And now some people might feel disappointed for whatever reason, but I have to worry about that when it happens. Like me, I'm a spiritual person, so you have to stay prayed up, have your people, all your people praying for you, and take one day at a time. Because that's why people have strokes and all kind of stuff, because they keep pushing themselves. Oh, I got to get there. Oh, they're going to let me go if I don't get there. But you're let go anyway, because now you got a stroke. You can't even work no more. Or you have an outright heart attack. Or you have like a partial stroke that messes your brain up. So you got to know when to say no. And that's life. This is what I'm trying to tell you. That's life. That's why you're here. You're here to live. That's life. I'm not saying make excuses, but what I am saying, you can't do everything. And if you're going to be in a relationship, you got to realize it's going to be shit like that. You're going to find out shit she did that's going to piss you the fuck off, and you're going to have to deal with it. Not angry, beating somebody up, not grabbing somebody. So look, I tell any man, when your woman hurts you and you two decide to break up a divorce or whatever you're going to do, let it go. Why are you still, I'm going to give her back, I'm going to expose her? Dude, just let it go. Move on with your freaking life. It's just not a man. You're not being a man. You expect, she's working off emotion, so you expect her to be that way. And sometimes women aren't. Sometimes, believe it or not, women, like I found out, like you think the woman's going to be the more vindictive one, but she's not. Sometimes she just wants to move on. It's over. She's not interested. She wants to move on. And he's the one like, oh, I'm going to get you. I'm going to expose you. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to get you in court. Like, yo, dude, be a man. Let it go. I'm sorry she hurt you, but that's life in third dimension. That's what I'm saying. When somebody tells you the truth, it gives you the option to go in realistically. So that way, when you're falling in love with this female, you're not going to put on this pedestal that she cannot possibly follow. You have to realize she's not going to be perfect. She's going to do stuff you don't like. It's going to be times you wish she had discussed it with you. She didn't. And even sometimes when you're still giving her the option to talk about it, she may not. But then there's going to be times where she also goes beyond the call of duty for the relationship. Where she's doing something that you didn't think she would do. Or you think she's hiding something for one reason. But she's only hiding because she's trying to surprise you. So that's what you got to learn. That's the part of really growing in third dimensional. Like I said, if you hear me talk, I'm patient now. I was never patient. See, I was 3. Leo in 3. Dive in and whatever. And I'd run up on just about anybody. But now you gotta learn how to just be patient. Sometimes, like with them, it was a chess game. I didn't know what they were gonna do next. Because I thought they'd probably get madder when I gave them that note. Not that I said anything mean, because I was never, like I said, that was all in their mind. I never did anything to these people. That's why I was saying, why do they hate me so much? What the hell is this about? But they had to know I wasn't playing no more. We're not going to play no more games. No more your garbage. No more your debris is going to be on our property. No more. This is 7 years that you treat me like garbage for no reason. And now I just asked you to stop. And you're still getting worse. We're not playing this game no more. So they had to learn. So I took that little letter I sent. And I guess, however they perceived it. But after they got the letter, they kind of like backed down. Because I definitely mentioned neighbors and stuff like that. Like, they're supposed to be Christian. They call themselves Christians. So they finally backed down for now. So, reason why I spent that much time, because that's what you're looking at. And remember, Libra can also be the law as well. So it would do him a great service. It'll save him from going bald. and all kind of stuff. To just what I just said. If you're going to enter any type of situation with anybody, you can't control it. You can't say, hey, well, in order for this to work, it has to be this way. You have to realize that that's like let's just say you got a girl, you got a female, you're a Leo, and you really want your woman all up on you and all that. That's what a Leo wants. Leo, when you want your woman all up on you, and you got this whole family perception, but she's on some other. She thinks she's sexy, she's beautiful. Oh, she loves it when the guys are looking. She loves it when she catches the guy looking at her and stuff. Oh, that vanity is on, and she's just letting it show. Cleavage all out, belly button all out. So you already know if that's what you want, some type of closed-in situation, it wouldn't be her. Even if you and her have some type of chemistry going on, it may not be her. You got to really ask yourself, can you deal with it? But sometimes when a person says, "Well, that was the way you met me," you knew how I was when you. They're kind of right. They're kind of right on that one. And people think, well, in a relationship, you're supposed, and but it may take 10, 15, 20 years before she starts to become that person. So before you dive in with naivety and idealism, because that's truly a Leo, dive in with facts. Because like I said, my perception of a female is totally different now. Like the type of female I would pursue is nothing like I would have pursued, say, years ago. Nothing whatsoever. Because I'm not going to be going back and forth with some silly stuff. And I'm not putting her down. I'm just not ready. I'm not doing that shit. So that's the first house. So he may also have a good connection with children because of the threes and the whole third house in Gemini, and Leo is down with children as well. So again, Mars is 16 degrees, 13 minutes. 16 is Mars energy. 13 is Scorpio energy. It's the death card, but that means he'll terminate it. Or some of his stuff may really get and very intense. Like very intense, a lot of arguments, and very Scorpio-ish, because Scorpio is all about power struggles and intense emotions and stuff. Now number 17. Now I'm pretty sure that is the star card. I always get them mixed up, but I'm definitely sure. But we're gonna look at it real quick, and that's Aquarius energy. See, let me see. Like I said, I always get those two mixed up, so I always double check. Yeah, so it is a star. See what they do too. You type in tarot card 17, and they'll still bring up temperance. So that'll confuse you too. But I look at the number, so temperance is definitely 14. Yep, and the star card is 17. So that's Aquarius energy. And that's kind of funny. That's kind of funny because Leo's and Aquarius oppose each other. So that's kind of funny, universe, would to give him a 17. It's almost like somebody got a sense of humor. So even though they oppose each other, they may, like a man Leo may still be attracted to a female Aquarius. Yep. See where Juno is? So he will be attracted. So that 17 degrees ascendant is his twin. His twin flame. That's that whole opposite attracts type thing. So yeah, he's going to definitely be getting into it, because Aquarius, you're not going to tell an Aquarius what to do. If Aquarius want to have her cleavage out, she's going to want to do it. So that's going to be like almost like a father-daughter relationship. Because if he tries to tell her not to, she's still going to find a way to do it. Having one shirt underneath another one and all kind of crazy shit. Because Aquarius is all about the people having fun and freedom. And they love to take in knowledge too. So these two may go through some breakups and back together and all kind of stuff. Now the second house is ruled by Taurus. It's about finances, possessions, and his value system. Virgo is all about the home, but it's also about service, health, healing, daily activities, co-workers, subordinates, small children, small animals. And because of what you're seeing on his birth chart, he'll probably have children if he doesn't already, but he'll have children at an early age. All right, now give me a moment because that's the asteroid Palace. Just give me a moment. So Palace is most asteroids, if not all of them, are feminine. Palace represents the feminine principles of awareness and healing. But we really want to go a little bit deeper. It's kind of interesting. This website is pretty cool. I'm probably going to send this to her. Because now I'm looking at Palace, but over to the right, It has an indigo soul child. And this is how the universe works. So they may be saying either he or his girlfriend will be indigo soul child, or if he has a child, it might be an indigo soul child. But it also has it says Sun and Leo, a natural leader. But keep in mind, I'm not looking for anything with Leo. I said Palace. But yeah, right there. So that's definitely a message. Any indigo child is a person who is connected more to out of this realm, not third dimensional. And you could tell people say, "Oh, they're weird." They're not weird. They're just indigo. And anything, a lot of times they talk about the third eye and stuff like that. And then the indigo child is more connected to the third eye, and their perception is way much more. But they don't understand third dimensional ways, and third dimensional ways don't understand them. So sometimes they will isolate themselves, and they get hurt a lot. But when they show me that, because this is what we were talking about. We were talking about him and his twin, and the universe shows me the strength card and stuff. So y'all won't get to see this picture, but it's at morganfire.blogspot.com. It says Feminine Principles of Awareness. So if you want to see it, I just told you how and where. Alright, so we're going to do this. So let's just read what Palace is, because Palace. Somebody tried to say Palace isn't a soulmate asteroid, but it is. Palace Athena signifies wisdom and creative problem solving, in which a holistic view of conflicting or opposite elements, such as the masculine and the feminine, is required. And that's what's going on here. Because once I saw that, how they're using a Leo with a Aquarius. See, he would have to get used to his whole perceptions got to change. Because Leo is not gonna be able to tell an Aquarius, you know, in order for us to really have a real relationship, you got to do this, you got to do that. Because Aquarius, they ain't trying to hear none of that. Like, you ain't gonna tell them. But they're showing you how Palace is it's kind of like saying they'll have to grow into it. That's why when I say you see them 13s, that might be arguing, breaking up, their names are missing each other and all that. Like I said, the war. That's why I did what I did. That's why when I'm talking, it's important, because a lot of people they just hear me, they just hear my tone, and they don't listen. Because everything I said about that war with them neighbors, that had to go down. It had to, for whatever strange universal reason. And there's a whole lot of supernatural stuff that was showing me that it had to go down. And I'm sitting here scratching my head, but it just had to go down. But because sometimes in life you have to be that way. You have to get tired, get tired of being tired. You got to get tired. Like we would have had the big old Martin Luther King. Because how did Martin Luther King come? Martin Luther King didn't just walk out and say, "Hey, I'm Martin Luther King, and I'm gonna be a civil rights leader." Martin Luther King came about because Rosa Parks got sick of being told, "Get up, get up." Whenever you see a white person coming, you get up, you stand. And she done worked on, and me pissed off. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm minding my own business, and they just keep making implications. Because and we're all black, and you know me since I was little. I ain't never did unto you, and they keep making this implication, and somehow, there he goes, lock the car door. They know not only do they not lock the car door, they click their little keychain. Then they hit the wrong button, so now I got it. Just fucking with you, trying their best to get inside of your head, and making all these implications. There's something wrong and all that. And then I gotta clean their crap up. So I finally said, nah, I ain't cleaning that crap up no more. You want to talk trash about me? You're the ones. You're the hypocrites. You're the phonies. Stop calling me out. Come clean your own crap up. And then instead of them, cleaning their crap up, now they talking more trash. So it really got like, nah. So then once the township got involved, and I was telling the township, you think I won't go over your head? You think I'm scared of you? And I think once they realized, oh no, he's really serious. And then that note helped. Then they finally backed the freak down. So that's what I'm saying. You're in a relationship, arguing, whatever is going on, hurting each other some type of way, which is what twin flames do. And then you go into some type of separation. That's 13, the death card. Because the death card can mean like death, but anything with Scorpio or Pluto always means like transformation, one way or another, with that person or some other person or another situation. But the home is when you kind of start to get it together. And that's what he has in his second house. So Palace is going to help him solve problems. And they always say Palace in the second house can be good for money. Because it's very creative. But we already know this gentleman is going to be very creative. And Palace, Virgo is about healing. And so is Palace. Holistic views. So he'll be good with that. He might even find a job doing that. Healing financial situations. So Palace gives you a sense of fairness, and you're also willing to fight for the underdog. So Palace fights for causes. And remember, this is all going on in the second house, which is the financial house, value system house, and also possession house. But he's got the home or the service, Virgo there, health, home, service. And also, like I said, young ones and small children. Sometimes you can that's like even a veterinarian or something. So remember, it's funny because Virgo also deals with like agriculture, harvest, crop. But Palace is connected to culture, pottery, sculpture, weaving, architect, animal. So he might have a connection with that. He might be good with stuff like that. And if he's not, then his twin will be. But then they say Pallas Athena can also represent the denial of one's gender in an effort to cope with situations that require the skills of the opposite gender in order to survive, as well as the struggle to rediscover and reconnect with essential qualities of one's own sex. And they even said androgynous. And that's interesting. Now I got to tell her something because that came on the first chart. So I'm just letting you know a few things by way of information. I'm not saying this is the way it is and this ain't the way it ain't. But remember, a lot of angels are androgynous. Even somebody like an indigo child probably is connected to the angelic energy. But I can't tell you that's the way it is. But I can try to tell you that's why you don't hear me. I'm not saying what's right or what's wrong because I'm not God. But what I'm doing right now is just sharing information. But if you remember when Bobby Hemmett, a master teacher, when he first came out, he really used to crack on homosexuals and stuff like that. But the more he studied and got knowledge and things like that, he was less rapid to do that. Because really, in these human bodies, we don't know everything. We're only going by what we were taught or what we believe. But some people teach that everything you see was agreed upon. In other words, angels came down and they all agreed about it. Even the tree of life basically says they all came down and they're all going to go back up. And it's another woman out here that teaches the same thing. Because the man was real upset with her because she was saying everything here people chose. They gave consent to come down. And the man said, "Don't say that." He said, "How are you going to say that about all those people that were murdered during like World War II or something?" And she said, "I know it's hard for you to understand, but every last one of those people had a contract, and they all agreed to come down here. They were angels who agreed to come down here and experience that." And he was like, "Don't ever say that." And he was pissed off. So when you see a pattern, like this is a pattern, this is the second one. So when you see that, and even when you deal with the Aquarius is like depending on where it is and what house, but that's also like you know two of the same sex and things like that. Or even if it's male female, they still have it a unconditional way. Like they may sleep around with other people, but it's going to be unconditional. It's not going to be conforming. It's not going to be the traditional way of a relationship. That's like some people agree to never get legally married. You know, they're not going to conform. So it says androgynous conditions and healing through feminine wisdom, energy balancing, or conflict resolution are also expressions of the Pallas Athena's archetype. Now remember, that's just about Pallas. She didn't even mention second house yet. But Virgo in the second house is also about healing and stuff like that. So whatever they're going through, and again remember number 13 is death, or you die one way and come back up with the death card, and it's also 18, and the 18 is moon, the moon card, which is also not a consistent view. And the moon can be very sensual, very secretive. So Scorpio is in that second house with the number 13. And this is the money house as well. Alright, so that's good information. Also, in a twin flame or soulmate relationship, Palace is the more mature one of the two that is trying to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in that second house. Alright, this will be astrologyclub.org, Palace and the Signs. So this person will fight and defend the health and strength of life. So that's where he may use his money at, or he may make his money that way. So one thing he may make a mistake in doing is taking on the problems of others at his own sacrifice, and even battling for their rights. Because remember, Virgo is about sacrifice and service, and so is Pisces. But whenever you do that, you have to be careful that you don't burn yourself out. All right. Libra in the third house. It could be a relationship, but like I said, in the third house, it's going to be somewhat, even like Libra in the third house, Aquarius in the seventh house. This is definitely going into arguments, possible separation, possible breakup. Yep. You see that Juno retrograde? Juno retrograde always means some form of infidelity. But it's because I guess it's going to be immature. And like I said, you got to understand what I'm saying. Like, immature is already going to put pressure on it in the first place. But what I mainly try to get through to people is you have to understand that people do things differently. And this is the way it was designed. Or just the way it is. And you have to be aware of that. Because this will not be about logic thinking. This is all going to be about emotions. Just like if I could go back, I don't know what I would do. Would I do it all over? But just to not to go through the hell of dealing with them, I probably would just keep my mouth shut. And I hate to admit that. Because I'm a fighter. But if I could go back to when all that first started, I would have probably just said, I'm not going through this crazy. Because like it was, all of that was stupid. All of that was stupid. But unfortunately, that's what I'm trying to tell you. On this planet, you get a lot of that. I remember seeing two cars rushing to get on the parkway one morning. And they were just rushing and rushing, and they weren't going to give the other one the edge. So this was like they're fighting. Now, when you turn on the entrance to the parkway, it gets real narrow. So they were literally still fighting each other, and the cars actually hit, like they hit each other, boom, and they still didn't stop. So that's just stupid because now you got damage to the car, and then the other person ain't gonna pay for it because neither one of y'all are stopping. So your car is messed up, and that's dangerous because you're turning onto the parkway where cars are going way faster than you are. and they're driving crazy too. So that's why I say a lot happens when you don't realize that, or when you go in a situation thinking we'll work it out. And a lot of times you won't. Like that's like from my neighbors. Like I'm not really trying to have no connection with them. That's why I really wanted to let it make me know I don't want your stuff on my property no more, because that's how you're bringing all your negative energy into my life. I don't need that shit. I got family members that already do that. You know what I'm saying? So keep your stuff on your side. So when things can be worked out, it's sad, but you got to move on. And like I said, like life is not a joke. So you don't need to just take on things that are not going to help you anyway. They're going to take more from you. Like I had a friend of mine that now me and him started a band together when we were young, but unfortunately, our relationship was more like me being a big brother to him and helping him. But when it came time to repay the favor, he just sold me out, like on every turn. So I finally realized that, and like I'm like, nah, some things you should just leave in the past. You know, you can't get back together. You can't make new music. You can't, because some stuff is just better. Just like you look at Van Halen, those guys hate each other. Like Eddie, and like 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 the competition. You got David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar, and even though they had competition, they're better friends than David Lee Roth and Eddie Van Halen. Now you gotta understand, Eddie Van Halen and David, they've been in that band, one of the greatest bands of all time, Van Halen. But David Lee Roth probably gets along a little bit better with Sammy Hagar, even though those have Sammy and Hagar took his place when Eddie Van Halen kicked David Lee Roth out the band. So you would think he would hate Sammy Hagar, but those two they got like competition or whatever. But other than that, it's no dislike, because they've come on radio together, they've cracked jokes with each other and stuff. But they don't get along. Eddie Van Halen and David Lee Roth really don't get along. Like they'll get together to make some money, but other than that, they really don't get along. And and the Who, Pete Townsend, because he's an idiot. Now Pete Townsend, he always bullied, like artistically he bullied the crap out of Roger Daltrey, but physically Roger Daltrey would beat the crap out of Pete Townsend. But even I saw them recently, and they did a an interview. Both of them, they're old men now, but they're still making music. They're still making new music. Are going on tour anyway with it. Now, remember, the majority of the band is dead. The majority of the original members of the Who are dead. There was only four of them really, the four main ones. And still, Roger still has to say, "Oh, it's not our music. It's Peter's music, and I'm just a singer. But I try to bring the best I can in the music." Now, man, I'm like, man, I wanna punch Pete Townsend in his freaking face. You fucking egotistical. Got busted with child porn and paid your way out of it. Like, dude, your band wouldn't have been shit without Roger Daltrey. All right, let's keep it 100. Your band wouldn't have been shit without Roger Daltrey. So stop making that man feel like he's not a part of the Who, and you didn't need him, and all he was a singer. You freaking idiot. Who could sing Tommy like Roger Daltrey? Come on, man. Bob O'Reilly, come on, man. How dare you? That's why I'm glad Roger Daltrey used to kick your ass back in the day. So this old man still has to say, "Oh, it's not my music. It's Peter's music." But I try to put my best. And then Peter was like, "No, it is your music. It is your music," and shit like that. He's trying to. Yeah, you should. Two of them guys are dead. Two of those guys are dead, and you still haven't got that shit straight. You should be apologizing to Roger Daltrey. So so this is life. Is what I'm trying to tell y'all. This is real life. But for reasons like that, that's why I said you got to leave that in the past. Because when I look at him, it hurts. Like I can't explain it to you, but it really hurts to look at that dude. And that's the dude that popped up recently out of nowhere. At my job, it popped up. Hey, how you doing? And I was trying to get to the back and hide in the back till he left. Like, it just hurts. Like, dude, I was there for you. Your whole business was because of me. Like, when I met you, you were so close to being turned out. Like, totally not a guy. And I taught this guy how to fight. I pushed him into his first fight, and that was the day he became a man. Because after that fight, he was fighting everybody. He went on from being that guy to starting his own business, all legal, starting his own business, working with his hands. But he never, like anybody else would have said, hey, yo, come on, we could do this together. Whatever, we'll work something out. You were there for me, I'm there for you. Not him. Not him. And then I had to chase him down for money he owed me. So I like, nah, you're not the type of dude I would have. I still got love for him, though. Just like my neighbors. I got love from them, but I gotta love y'all at a distance. It can't be no close contact because you've already shown me that you don't have no type of respect for me and nothing like that. So no, we can't be buddies. So a lot of people that decision came down with, in the last 5 or 6 months. But like I said, ain't nobody getting no younger, and once you start having health problems, you got to be careful. You got to be careful who you're around and stuff like that. And then when they show they don't have no respect for you in those areas, they can't be around you. I mean, you could do it anyway, but it's gonna be to your detriment. So here you go. Now I don't know when this is gonna happen, but so like I said, in that third house, it's about young children again, young children education, creation, multitasking, short distance travel. Hate to tell you this, but when you have something that means relationship in the third house, that means it's going to be short. It's going into some type of breakup or separation. It also means the brotherhood, your siblings. Now, that 11 degrees in with Libra is probably the Justice card. But that means it will be a legal situation, one way or another. And it's also going to be somewhat of a short situation. And Libra is relationships, partnerships, things of that nature. Now, in the fourth house, whenever you got Scorpio in the fourth house, pretty much that means some of the family might be soul members or soul members from a previous life, but it is extremely watery and all that other stuff. Plus, Scorpio in the fourth house can mean family members could also have psychic powers, psychic abilities. But it's going to be watery, might be power struggles, arguments. All that is Scorpio. And I'm sure she has a free report so she can read the eighth house, because I know I told her before to really know that eighth house. Now, I noticed he's got like a lot of Juno retrograde, Chiron retrograde. So, and Leos can be ultra sensitive. Like when you see that number 11, it also breaks down to number 2, and that somebody can be very ultra sensitive. And even number 11 in the third house could be like a master teacher, though. He might really be good, seem like he can know how to communicate. But that 11 breaks down to a 2. Could be overly sensitive. And again, it is a kind of psychic number, especially if you see 11 like with Sagittarius or something. Could be psychic. All right. See, the fifth house is supposed to be fun. So we're going to look at the Sagittarius Leo connection because Leo rules the fifth house. This is Insightful Psychics. Alright, this is not what I asked for. Get out of here. So again, Sagittarius, again, both of these are fire signs. Sagittarius in the fifth house, they're both fire signs. So anything with fun, exploration, adventure, they really want to do that. But like I said, Sagittarius and in Leo in the fifth house, ruled by Leo. Again, would be a very psychic person. So when you go in a big way. You either go to a large group of people, but there's usually a big experience, and they might even have a big price tag. So Sagittarius in the fifth house definitely don't want to do it the small way. Unless every time you have an experience, the next time you do it, you want to do it bigger. Or you want it to be completely different than what you just did. But they saying this person might expect too much from the children. So this person will be quite proud and will want their children to be the same way. And they say Sagittarius is a gambler, so in the fifth house, gotta be very careful. Sagittarius in the fifth house has to be careful because they don't just gamble with money or gamble. They also gamble with life, like jumping out of planes, bungee jumping, and taking a lot of risk. And yeah, and see, Pluto retrograde means losing something being taken away from you. And that 10 degrees is also Jupiter, which could be the wheel of fortune, could be good fortune, good luck, could be finances because it's Jupiter. But he will lose something in this fifth house. It's 10 degrees and 19 minutes, which is the sun. Uh, Chiron retrograde shows that this person has been wounded and the wound has not healed yet. All right. Sixth house. That's kind of interesting. So we already talked about the sixth house. So he'll have some type of home business as well. Because Virgo rules the sixth house. Virgo's in his second house, which is the money house. And then in his sixth house is Capricorn, which could be business, career, reputation. This is where he'll also have a fated event or destiny or a soulmate meeting or a twin flame meeting. right. Give me a moment. So that is 6. That is 6 degrees, 8 minutes. And again, 6 could be the Lover's card. That's Gemini energy, but it could mean doubt. And now Vesta is the asteroid at 22 degrees, and Vesta does work with Virgo, and the 6th house is Virgo house. That's a very earthy house. His 6th house is very earthy with Virgo and Capricorn. And they go to number 11 again. And that number 11 can either be the Justice card, or it could be the Leo card. But Vesta shows you that's where people have a lot of energy, and they have to know how to take breaks or they'll burn out. But there is one person who said Vesta is a twin flame asteroid. All right. So she was talking about Vesta being retrograde, but she says Vesta helps you anchor fifth dimensional energies, balance the masculine and the feminine, and that's what everybody keeps saying about these asteroids, that they help them balance the masculine and feminine, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's my yacht. So the balance, but it's not balance. It's not, we'll just compromise. We'll agree to disagree, or we'll compromise. It's not. Sometimes you just have to get used to that's just the way it is. Because even when you be hearing people say, "Oh, you just gotta learn how to trust me, love me unconditionally," and really, like I said, but they are, and that's why people get mad, because like you're not gonna be lying to me. But unfortunately, it kind of is, because you just get to the point where you just don't worry about it. But really, it's not like you're dealing with it. And that's what I'm just saying. And some people finally get to that point. But like I said, what the point is that, okay, we're just a couple, and I'm not gonna worry about everything you do, and blah blah blah, and But what I'm saying is, if he did know, he wouldn't say that. So it's kind of like a wink, wink type of deal. Like wink, wink. Like we both kind of know, but we ain't gonna talk about it, and hopefully nobody will bring it up. So again, let's just learn a little bit more. All right, now she says the Vesta. So she said Vesta represents anything sacred, any sacred space. Because that sixth house is kind of and it is interesting because if you notice in his home in his second house, there's basically talking about healing and health and stuff. And now you got Capricorn in the sixth house, which means it's very serious because that is Virgo healing linked up to the second house. And let's say so he may view it that way. Sacred space, talking about temple, lodge, sweat lodge, or meditation corner. All right. So kind of like heat might be a concern in his home, and it's kind of funny because he's a fire sign too. And Vest is kind of fiery too. And remember, this is his home now. It could be the home he lives in, but it could also be the home, like whatever home he has. All right. All right. Now, even Vesta in his house, it could have something to do with a daughter as well. His chart's kind of similar to his brother's chart. So Vesta can represent spirituality and or sexuality. All right. Vesta also deals with civilization, one's ancestral and cultural roots. All right. So Vesta can also deal with sex, many sexual expressions. All extremes. So that goes with the territory. So Vesta can represent the inner struggles with the outer struggles, like third dimensional with the inner struggles. Because she can mean isolation too. This person just said that. Vesta can mean isolation too. See that Capricorn is kind of serious. It's business though, but Capricorn can be very serious. So Vesta on your chart can indicate what you feel you need to give up or sacrifice. And it's kind of weird because it's almost like he'll see it as like a purging. And you can do that, like depending on how deep you are with your belief system, especially a Leo. Because remember, Leo is very fiery too. So it's almost like I gotta get this out of my life. I gotta purge this out. All right. Let's just see what else they say. So Vesta, I'm gonna tell you right now, Vesta in Capricorn is a little weird. Um, because what I'm gonna try to tell you, it's gonna kind of almost be a little. I'm not gonna use the word, but a little bit like it may get sexual or one way, but it'll keep getting pulled back down to Capricornian, like serious and all that. Because when you think about sex, and even Vesta is fiery and stuff like that, so the sex probably would be quite great, especially with a fire sign or even something like Aquarius. It would be great, but Capricorn is going to pull it to something that because somebody said, oh, you threw a wrench in my whatever. That's what the sixth house is, pretty much. Because even we had already talked about it in the second house, like health and cleansing. So in order for a relationship to be healthy, you can't perceive a person or sex as needing to be purged. Because that's like when somebody's been through something and they think sex is dirty or something, but sex is not dirty. You might have been through a situation that made you feel that way, but even in a relationship, sex is supposed to be like refreshing and something you look forward to. So that's these first six houses. So even when you get to the seventh house, the relationship house, like I said, Aquarius is going to want her freedom, and Lilith is there too. And Lilith is retrograde, which means now you'll be dealing with her regression. A lot of times when you see Lilith in either the sixth house or the seventh house, it was some type of relationship or home issue that hurt her. And even if it's a guy, it's still Lilith, so Lilith is feminine. And then when you see Neptune retrograde, that's the escapist. It could definitely be like with the Aquarius vibe, that's the partying and the escapism with drugs, alcohol. And the Uranus retrograde is like that is the bipolar. Because I was going to say it with Capricorn, but I said I'm not going to say it because once you say the bipolar, right? But it is because now it could be anything. Because Uranus retrograde is anything that comes out of anywhere. And even 23 is kind of like bipolar. 23 could be very sensual or very witty, very communicative, uh, out there, but it can also be very Uranus, uh, come out of nowhere. Number four again is really Aries energy. but it could be very pragmatic. This is the like when that Capricorn comes out. Like Leo might be, oh, I love him. He's a Leo and he's so romantic and he's so fun and he has a great sense of humor and all that. But when that Capricorn come out, it's more serious. Like that, oh yeah, I want to be married because it'll be so beautiful to be married. Oh, I got a good man. But then he'll say something like, all right, but in order for us to be married, this is serious, and to take marriage seriously, you have to do this, or we have to do this, or you can't do that. And then she's gonna be like, nah, I don't want nobody telling me what I can and can't do. And anybody over here in America, you know this shit happens all the fucking time. But that's where the drama starts. And in a relationship, it's all kind of stuff going on there. So number 4 could be Aries aggression. Number 3 could be that Uranus coming out of nowhere. Number 5 card again is the Pope card, a Hierophant card, or even Leo energy because it's number 5. And the 13 again is the breakup, the escape. See, that's escape and a breakup. And see, 5 is the implication is you escape, but you escape to what? Some other form of pleasure. So that could be adultery or cheating on somebody, and then you see Juno right there retrograde, and that's what that means. And then what is Juno? 23, which is also 5. 2 and 3 is 5. And you keep seeing the number 19. The number 19 is like the sun card, but again, even that one's all about fun, or it's about like getting away from something. Like the sun card is like, finally, I got away from that. Everything's bright, everything's great. I finally got away from that. And then Pisces in the 8th house, very spiritual, but very psychic. Ninth house again, fire signs, but this is long distance. Foreign, higher self, culture, philosophy. Tenth house, number 8 could be Leo energy, but it could also be justice. It's definitely karmic with Saturn there. Both Taurus and Capricorn are earth signs. So again, Taurus could have something to do with finances. But we already know because Taurus rules the second house, and there goes Virgo, rules the 6th house. And when you go Virgo, there goes Capricorn. So you know those 3 houses are really connected together for this particular chart. And it's somehow it looks like some type of home business. But it had an underlying message that it was karmic, and that somehow he may view certain aspects of the relationship as needing to be cleaned or purged. which ain't gonna be healthy for the relationship. Now, 29 degrees is the energetic degree, and 1 minute or one is like the Gemini energy, the Magician card. So me personally, I would take that energetic degree. I would go 29 degrees Saturn, 29 degrees Capricorn, 29 degrees Taurus, 29 degrees Virgo, and just to get an idea of what's going on there, because all those are connected. But it's real energetic. The implication, the implication is that he may have tried he, he may try business with this person, but it's gonna really mess up. But the really reason why it's messing up is not, he just has a confused view, and that's why in the earlier I did all that talking, because I was trying to show you how because even like I said, I used to be in bands, and they used to say that he'll quit the band quick. Like if he doesn't like the way the band's going, he'll quit. So I think you kind of got that with him, where he's like an idealist to a certain degree. He sees the ideal situation, but well, that's what I was trying to tell you. Real Mayat is when you can have a wife that maybe ain't doing everything you would want a woman to do or a wife to do, but she's still your wife. You know, so you just don't dig like you used to. You just accept that this woman is not going to be perfect, but you just try to hope she learns as she grows, or you know and hope you don't have to hear no crazy shit, even if it's true. That's my that's the realistic answer of my because they're still together, but it just ain't gonna be based on no idealistic stuff that ain't gonna work, because you don't want to bully her. And plus, like I said, you may think if she don't really want to do it, she ain't gonna do it. So she might agree to it and try to make you believe it, but she's not. And when it's like that, sooner or later you're gonna find out, and you're gonna be angry as I don't know what. But when you do it the other way, you kind of already know anyway. So it's kind of like you almost find out, and you be like, "Wow, that's it." That's all she did, and you be kind of like glad that you know, because as time goes on, people change. But you got, like I said, you just have to have the patience, and like if you got a lot of pride, because I know like lions, they got a lot of pride. So you like, she ain't gonna be disrespecting me, and see that's what I mean by Capricorn. She ain't gonna be disrespecting me, and that's the purge I'm talking about. I used to get mad. It's like anybody could get it. Yeah, anybody could get it. Like if one person, it'd be anybody could get it at any given moment. That's like that's a form of a purge. Because if you notice, like people could have kind of like a happy relationship, but as soon as they move in, it's like, and they breaking up, or all kind of crazy stuff start happening. That didn't seem to be happening when they was, before they got, tried to do the right thing, got married or moved in or whatever. Because it just it has that whole atmosphere of, our ideal, what was taught to us, or relationships supposed to be like this, and you know, a married woman should never act like that, you know. And then Leo, like these females said, the Leo's the one guy that's going to jump in and try to get it done. But unfortunately, he's going to have a rude awakening. That's what I mean about my yacht. My yacht is like, okay, I'm not gonna like everything about her. But like I said, that was one thing I learned a lot. I learned a lot from my Kenyan because she definitely wasn't gonna conform. She wasn't conforming to shit. In fact, she really liked insulting you and hurting your feelings and stuff. Not that she was a bad person, but she just liked to do fucked up shit. And but she also did a lot of great shit. And one thing I learned from her, if you would just be patient and give her a chance, she would do great. She would do great shit. But she would just talk so much shit and hurt you like you ain't believe she was capable of it. So I don't know who's gonna hear this, but one time me and her went to New York because she loved to go. Now me, I was always like a straight up homebody usually. So in order to go to New York, we had to drive into Newark. This is a long time. I don't know how you do it now, but it's like 1998. You had to drive into Newark somewhere, and you got to park your car somewhere. Then you get on this ferry or something, this boat, and it takes you across whatever that is, and it takes you into. I think it takes you into the city. Then once you're in the city, you got to get on the subway. Then the subway takes you to wherever we went, like some restaurant in New York. So now, like I said, I'm a Leo. So I'm like, I'm with you. And I think it's going to be our night together. That's what I'm thinking. So we get to it's a bar restaurant. And it has a jukebox. And she's the only female. So all the guys are flocking to her. I'm not cool with that. I'm not feeling really good right now. I'm not feeling too good with that shit. For me and her have been through hell and back. But that's why I'm saying she taught me so much. That's why when I'm speaking to y'all, I'm speaking from truth, from experience. Like people can take it any way they want to. But if you think you're gonna have a relationship where somebody's gonna act a certain way, that's only if she wants to, or she's just scared of you, or scared of losing you, or whatever. But that don't mean she's acting that way when you ain't there. So you're better off to just don't even come with no preconceived ideas and don't come with no rules. So I had got to the point where, listen, I'm sick of arguing with her. I'm sick of fighting with her. And I'm hurt. But I'm like, obviously she can't see that she's hurting me. And I'm like, fuck it. So I take my little, I guess I was drinking beer or something. I take my little drink. And I go to the end of the bar. Because I always do. That's where the jukebox is. I always go to the end of any bar I went to back then. I don't go to bars now. But I would always be by the jukebox. So she's down there with all these guys. And talking to them and shit. And I'm just at the end of the bar listening to music by myself, sad and shit. And it's funny because, like I said, it has to be a transition because, like where I'm from, around here, you would be fighting somebody. You would be fighting her, or you'd be fighting one of those guys, because that's just how it was. It was just viewed as disrespect. But I was like, man, fuck it. Like she'd be, because she is a friend too, and that's why she was able to make me transform, because she was a friend. They're like these neighbors. I didn't want to beef with them because I'd known them my whole life. But that's how I was able to transform, because I was like, listen, it's obviously me and her are not going to be together, and it's obviously we're not getting married. But there's no sense to keep arguing, because she's going to do what the fuck she wants to anyway. So I just took the beer, went down, played music, and she was down there for a while. I mean, I don't know. Well, you know, it's somebody you care about, so it's like eternity, and she's like, why aren't you here? It's like fucking eternity. I don't know if she was even down there that long. But she noticed I left, and she knew how I could be. Because she seen me like get violent with people. She knew how I could be, so she knew, wow, that's not him. So eventually she came down there and was with me. So I learned a lot from her. Like I learned her, like she told me a lot of shit, like just chill. By you getting all mad and thinking you're gonna make her be with you, she's never gonna do it. But when you just like let her be her, she shows up. So that's why I said the Kenyan will always be like an A+ with me, even though we went to hell and back with her. But like I said, she was a friend, and that's why that kind of worked, because she was a friend, probably just as much or more than my lover. And she is a lover, we would have just broke up. But because she was a friend, I never wanted to violate that and that's why we were able to grow. But eventually we still broke up. But the point of the matter was, she was big. I'm like a little small time guy. She wanted to travel the world and all that shit. So it was reasons like that too. Plus, she was always in your face, challenging you and shit, and flirting with other guys right in front of you and just doing crazy shit. Like somebody could get killed doing shit like that. But at the end of the day, the real reason, if you want the real reason, because I had got used to her doing that. So the real reason was, like I said, she was just big. She was big. She knew America better than most Americans and shit. Like she knew everything. Like how the fuck do you're from the East, you're from Kenya. How the hell do you know this country so much? So now, so we already know what your Taurus and the 10th house is all about. Money. But what type of career? Well, we know it's health or something with Virgo, health, exercise, healing. Might be communication, but something like that. Now, that moon is in a different house, but it's still close to so if you went moon conjunct Saturn, you could. But if you're gonna go moon conjunct Saturn, it's kind of like a maybe issues with the mother, or even stuff inside of himself that's kind of hidden but feminine. But even Saturn could represent the father. Could be parent issues. And yeah, looking over his chart will say, well, if Saturn is karma, what would be the karmic lesson of his 10th house? Um, See, number 8 could be Leo, number 8 could be Justice. But I think the karmic lesson of his 10th house, even because the mother is more emotional and stuff, with the moon, is maybe not to be so hard line. Not to be so hard line. Because that's what it really looks like. It looks like when we got to the home sector, this is where he started breaking down the law. Because he almost views everything as sacred. And that's why I try to tell you. And I understand all that because I came up on it and stuff. See, that's how religion is good in some ways, but it's horrible in other ways. But like a Leo will just get up and do it. He'll get up and do it because it's the right thing to do. But everybody's not like that. And especially like men don't need to talk a whole lot. But women, they want to talk about everything. They want to talk about the experience, the food, how the food tastes, and all that. So you gotta really have have that energy to talk, and stuff like that. And it's a journey. Like I said, like for me personally, because I'm older now, I got health problems and stuff, and I just like what I do. I love what I do. Now, when I was younger, I did all that dating stuff and like that. Like if I could press a button and go back just to have the whole entire experience with a woman, like to get to everything I'm talking about in this video, I would. But later in life, it's like, nah, I really wouldn't. You know. So that's what I think his karmic thing, that Saturn and Taurus is telling him not to be so determined and so hard headed, so stubborn, to say, hey, this is the way. Well, we're going to be, if we're supposed to be serious, this is the way it's got to be. This is inconducive to us I don't, it's not cool. It's just the way it is. Like, I wish I could give you something better. And you're right, in other countries it's not like that. But in America, it's home, land of the brave, home of the free. So you're gonna get you. Hey, you're not gonna stop me. That's just the American way. You're not gonna tell me. You're not gonna stop me. You're gonna put a ring on it. And even after you put a ring on, I'm still gonna be cutting up. Well, at least I got a ring. Because even like I said, y'all don't understand. Men are more romantic about marriage than women. Women see marriage like I'm not saying every single one of y'all, but I've been to weddings. And women are more about how much money she's taking in, how does she look, how does everything look, how is this gonna be perceived and shit. She's into shit like that. But the man, like, just y'all watch Martin. Just watch Martin when him and Gina was gonna get married and shit. Martin was the one dancing and all happy and shit. He was the one that was really into the why they get married and shit, not Gina. And the funny thing about it, he didn't want to get married. If you remember, he went, Gina, we ain't gotta be married. Why we gotta get married, Gina? They was always arguing and shit. I think he even told her one time, you ain't ready for marriage yet. Like, it was going off and shit. So when he finally committed to marriage, it was Martin that was dancing and was all happy and shit. It wasn't Gina. Like men be more into like, oh, I'm getting married and shit. They be, but the female, she be more into like the material aspect and the people and how much this gonna cost and how this gonna look and all that shit. Like, we getting married, damn it. Why ain't you happy about that? Fuck the dress. So that's the whole journey. That's the whole journey. And I'm not saying everybody's the same way, but that's the whole freaking journey that you gotta realize that what you perceive as sacred is not really considered sacred no more. Like she's saying, just love me for me. Just love me unconditionally. That's what's sacred to me. Not all that other stuff. And if you find somebody you can give that type of love to, that's a special thing. Because like I said, for a Leo, that's a challenge. Because a Leo is just more about tribe, and this is just the way it is. For a Leo, this is just the way it is. This is just the way it's supposed to be. You're my woman now, and this is that we're going to have a family. We're going to be together, and you ain't going to be doing this. You ain't going to be doing that. That's a Leo. Every sense of the word. But nowadays, that shit is like considered crazy. So as a Leo, you could actually get in trouble for being a nice guy or helping out or giving and all that. It's a totally different world. And the faster you learn that, the better off you'll be. So let's do that anaretic degree. Alright, so we're going to do Taurus. Capricorn, let's do it. So they said it signifies the end of a professional career cycle. Natives may be dissatisfied. Well, see, it's deeper than that. Because the implication on this chart is it's like a relationship. So you know what I'm saying? The end of a professional career cycle, 29 degrees Capricorn, is actually like things that are going to be upsetted because of this relationship. So it's more like the end of the partnership or something. Because what I'm saying is, if you're following, his 29 degrees, see, his Taurus is connected to his second house, which is Virgo. So it's really Taurus, Virgo, which is connected to his sixth house, which is Capricorn. So that's why I'm going 29 degrees Capricorn. Because all that's going to end, or whatever's going to happen at that karmic degree is going to affect all of that. Because this is some type of partnership. And it appears he's just going to take stuff too seriously, where he's going to be the one that's kind of like saying, okay, either the person going to get sick of it and say, I want out, or he's going to say, well, I don't think you're ready or whatever. "29 degrees Virgo. See, end of an employment cycle. Might also have something to do with a health cycle. Because it might even be the health job or employee or whatever. And Taurus, say the end of a money cycle. And that could be true if you're saying, if you're altering your career stuff, it would definitely be a money cycle. Alright. So now here we go again. So now this is the 11th house of friends, association, groups. And see, in Gemini, when you're there, that means he's a good communicator. People like him. He's making money. And they keep showing. So number 5 is following him. Again, that's Taurus energy. That is money energy. It's the spiritual energy too. That's why you got Vesta over there in employment. And could also be the Leo energy, 5th house. Could be. So his Jupiter is 5 degrees, 2 minutes. And that 2 could be couples, or it could be the high priestess, because you see the moon right there. Yeah, the moon is at 0 degrees, which is usually the fool card on a new journey, and it's also 17. And we say the number 17 is a star card, once again with Aquarius energy. And then good fortune is there, Sagittarius. And 23 implies it'll come out of nowhere. Uranus energy, really. And then the fool card is 0 degrees, which is out of nowhere, which is Uranus energy. And then you got that Gemini there. So the implications is he'll still do fine. Financially, he'll still do fine. Kind of like an Aquarius blessing. But does that mean Aquarius in the 7th house? I don't know. It's just strange. You don't know if it's a death, birth type of situation. Because in one scenario, it really goes down. But then once it gets over there to the 11th house, the implication like it comes out of nowhere though. All right. So whoever he's dealing with in his second house, fourth house, and 10th house, it seemed like that kind of flops. But the reason why it kind of flops was because he has a way too serious viewpoint about it, almost to the point of spiritual, like almost saying you're unclean. But in his 11th house might be the person in the third house, 7th house, and 11th house, which is Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. All right, so that's as much we can go there. 12th house, True North Node in Cancer, and True North Node really is in Cancer now on a most recent space of transit chart. Now remember, Cancer is all about friends. Cancer is all about teenage to adult education, land and property or real estate, family and ancestors, the heart, vehicles and travel, and the mother, which is called Imum Coeli. So a lot of times on people's charts, you see that 10th house and the 12th house connected, and this one this 10th house is connected to the 12th house through the moon, because the moon rules over Cancer, Imum Coeli. So his 12th house is definitely all about the mother, and you got Mars there too. Just like the other one, his brother's the same one. It's Mars with Cancer, with Cancer. But interesting. See, that's why I said So you got a big answer there, because we learned that Mars and Cancer people, they deal with a lot of emotions and sometimes they can't contain it. So in the 12th house, the universe is giving this person the offer to deal with it. Bring all your emotions out so that you can get healing. So the number 24 can mean return, and you said it to return. So see, return means, like, this is how I always describe it. Let's say a year ago you were standing on Bridge Avenue and something went down. Maybe somebody smacked the shit out of you. 24 is a return when you got to face that, and that's what the 12th house is all about. So if he has any type of mother issues or whatever, because that's the mother there, or family, because it could be family as well, he faces it in the 12th house, because that's like his life. That's why he's here. 24 is the return. Now 11 is there with 14 and Mercury, because like I said, he's a good speaker. So that's why the encouragement is to talk about it, because that'll help with healing. Because that's what that's what that whole 12th house is saying. And 26 is the number of is like God. However it's done, but it could be a whatever. By whatever is like God. 26 is like the God number. Could be like the Bible, person using the Bible. All right. So like I said, 11 could be the Strength card. That's the masculine working with the feminine. But 11 could also be Justice, the Justice card. But he'll want to talk about it. Because you could tell by his chart, he has a very noble viewpoint about family. So he will be wanting to talk about it. And to me, I'm just but I'm a Leo. That's why, like I said, just like me, I'd be willing to talk about it because I find like the earlier the better. Because people always put it off and put it off. But you got to understand, the healing is not really going to start until it's talked about. All right, let's do double check the number 14 one more time. Yep, definitely. 14 is a temperance energy. And remember that temperance is Sagittarius energy, and that's ruled by Jupiter. All right, so when you see Sagittarius in the fifth house, you see Jupiter there, see 11, Chiron, retrograde. So even in his fifth house, you see he's got some type of Chiron thing, a thing that didn't heal with Sagittarius. Now, what they may be seeing with what they may be saying with that is So finally, 12th house is all about communication, primarily with the whole family, the mother, but even whoever that Sagittarius is. Because even when you go to the ninth house ruled by Sagittarius, you see Aries. And and when you go to his 12th house, number 11 is Sagittarius, and you got Mars. Mars rules Aries. So whether that's the mother's energy, the same, I don't know. I have no idea. But you can kind of tell it really is significant on his chart. Even with a Pluto retrograde